Hey guys, greetings. I was trying to take a couple of days off before I did any more cooking. We're getting ready to move from here in Ohio back to our place in Michigan. Like I said, I move around with work, so we're getting ready to make that move. And I'm like, okay, and well, so the neighborhood here kind of requested that I do some cooking, basically for a block party. They want to have a block party, so I'm gonna do some. Give me a chance to shoot my video and show you guys how I do my ribs, my pork butt, and my brisket, right? So that was my excuse for taking a couple of days off from the kitchen. However, my daughter was messaging me last night, and so she wanted to see how I do my fish and shrimp tacos, because she hit me up with a recipe for salmon that I'm gonna have to go to the lab and work on. But anyway, that being said, let's show you how what I use to season my fish and shrimp tacos. Mind you, now I didn't come. Let me see. I've never tried a fish taco. Never heard of it until 2014. Right? I was working out in Nevada. Some of the guys out there was, okay, my wife makes this fish taco. I'm like, okay, I'll stick with beef, right? And took a trip to California, and my oldest brother at the time, he was out there, and we went out to eat, and that's what he ordered. I'm like, okay, knock yourself out. And eventually, I guess I got bored. I was working over in Maine 2 years ago, and I'm like, okay, let me try this fish taco thing. And guys, believe me, I tried it, and since that time I am hooked. So I'm going to show you my recipe that I do my fish and shrimp tacos with. Basically, it's the same. I will say this: when I first tried the fish taco. It was two recipes out there. One was a fried recipe, and the other was baked. So I tried both of them, kind of figuring I would lean more toward the fried. However, like I said, I only tried it once, and I've never tried that again. We're gonna stick with the bake. That being said, let's show you our ingredients, and then we're gonna get this mixed up, get our fish seasoned, and get it in the oven. We've already got our oven preheated to 375, and we're gonna get to work. Okay, so with fish tacos, it is said that you should use a white fish. I think they call for like either a cod, tilapia, mahi-mahi. I've seen halibut. Actually, I was working, like I said, I was working in Maine when I tried it, and when I was there, northeast up there in Maine, they had this fish called hake. And actually, I think that is one of the best fish, because I would use either cod or the pollock for my deep fried, similar to like a Long John Silver's or Captain D's recipe, right? But like I said, the only crazy thing with that fish, the only way you can find it or get it is you have to order it basically online, and they would ship it, and it generally comes from the northeast up there. That being said, anyway, let's get started with this. So this recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of whatever type fish you're using, right? White fish. I've got tilapia today, and that recipe calls for a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1.5 teaspoon of chili powder. Okay, but for today, I'm doing both, some shrimp and the fish, so I'm doubling my ingredients. And what I'm gonna do here, right, is get those mixed in together. That's our cumin, our cayenne. So I've got basically, like I said, I doubled mine. So I have 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of cayenne, 2 teaspoons of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, maybe a tad bit more, and 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of chili powder, right? Okay, we got that mixed in. So what I'm gonna do is get this mixed up, right? And then so we're gonna season our fish. Matter of fact, let me get that done right now. Can't find my whisk, but I can find the fork. For this is gonna work just fine. So we're gonna get this mixed up together. That mixed up together pretty good there. Get this on our fish, right? And you see these other ingredients. You'll see a Old Bay blackening, and I got some Old Bay. I've got this other, just a basically all-purpose seasonings. And like I say, when I'm doing meats, gotta have my MSG, right? So first off, we're gonna get this sprinkled on our fish and the shrimps, right? This is fairly easy, man. I mean, because you get this, you get your fish in the oven. We're gonna make our, basically our taco sauce, fish taco sauce, and also our, kind of like a homemade salsa to go with it. We add to that. Basically, we're gonna add our some red cabbage, and basically that's gonna be it, right? Okay, so we've got our seasoning mix on there. This is a new container. I've got to get this thing open. So this is some blackening seasoning, right? You can use whichever brand you want. Again, flavor to your liking. Like I said, I like, if you guys know me by now, James like flavor, right? So he's gonna hit it good. Hit it with a little Old Bay. This one I don't want to overdo it with because some people like Old Bay, some people don't. I'm good with it, especially if I'm doing just shrimp or crab legs, and I'm good with it on most seafood. I like my Old Bay seasoning because especially when it comes down to boils and stuff like that. Yes, I'm going to use quite a bit of Old Bay. So we want to hit it with a little bit of Old Bay, a little bit of this St. Elmo's all-purpose seasonings, right? Just hit it with that. Get that on everything. Both, like I said, the shrimp and the fish is seasoned the same. And last but not least, a little of this MSG, which kind of just makes that flavor burst, man. I don't know exactly how it works, but it does, right? Okay, so with this, we're gonna get this worked in. Both sides of the fish there. Just a matter of tapping them, getting both sides of this fish seasoned. The fish fillets are not that thick, so it doesn't require too much and really doesn't require like, a marinade or whatever. Of course you can, because sometimes on my shrimp, I will let those set for a couple of hours before I cook them. But like I said, being that it's kind of I guess a light, thin cut of meat or fish, it doesn't require a lot of marinade and anything like that, right? Okay, so we got our fish, both sides of our fish covered like we want to. So next, and see, I've got this on a baking pan, and I've also got a parchment paper covering the bottom of that, right? Keep that from sticking or anything. Okay, so we get our shrimp well covered. Right? So we got those covered. Now, what we want to do now, we've got it seasoned, right? So, next step with this is to hit it with basically like a binder whenever you're seasoning any kind of meats that you're grilling or smoking. For this one, with the fish, we're going to use a little olive oil on it. And so basically we're going to drizzle both the fish and the shrimp, the little olive oil. Just like so. And that's good. Next thing we want to do is add a little butter to it. So we're just basically going to come back here, get some butter, get it cut up and put on there. And we can put this in the oven for basically 10 to 15 minutes. And this will be good to go. Your fish is done. In the meantime, we're going to come back and make our salsa and our shrimp sauce, right? Or not shrimp sauce, but our taco sauce. Taco sauce basically consists of sour cream, mayonnaise, a little cilantro, I think it is, and what am I missing? Oh yeah, our peppers. I mean, we put some a little pepper sauce in there. There again, I like spicy, so I tend to add a little more. It calls for like a tablespoon, but I generally will double that because I like more spicy foods. But there again, you know, you have to do that to your taste. Because everybody don't like it or your system can't handle it. Believe me, I do know. And so you have to do this according to what you like and to what your system can handle, right? All right, so we're basically putting butter on there. You don't have to worry about getting it on everything because it's going to melt, and basically once it gets on the bottom, it's going to coat everything from the bottom side, right? Just a matter of getting it on there. So I think I'm going to hit one more slice here, and we're going to be good to go. With that right there, okay, so we got our fish straight, seasoned, hit it with the olive oil and the butter. So now it's going in the oven at 375 for about 10 to 12 minutes. We'll come back and get that out for you. Hit me a timer here and let it roll, right? Okay guys, so we're back. Show you how we make our simple fish taco sauce, right? So what we have here, your base is going to be a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. We've got a 1/2 cup of sour cream, right? Now, your salt and pepper is going to be to taste. So I won't tell you exactly how much to put in there, but it's just to your liking. The other ingredient here is these chipotle peppers, right? And some of the sauce off of those. That's where you get some heat. You can start off with a tablespoon. To this mixture, like I said, I like a little more heat, so I do 2 tablespoons. I double mine, right? And you also want to use 1/2 of lime, 1/2 of a lime juice, right? So I'm gonna strain that. I can put that in there now. We don't want any seeds in there, right? So we're gonna strain that real good, get our lime juice in there. It doesn't matter how the order that you mix this in. Just as long as you get everything in there and get it whisked together. And then the only thing we have remaining to do outside of waiting on that fish to cook is make our salsa or pico sauce, right? So that being said, we're gonna move along with this. So we got our half of lime juice in there, right? So I'm putting my 2 tablespoons, basically, of my chipotle peppers and juice in there, right? Hit that with a little black pepper. A little salt. Okay. Then we're going to get this mixed up. Get this mixed up and get it in the fridge. Let it set up a little bit. But this right here, this, guys, is our fish taco sauce right here. It's just, again, it's a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, a 1/2 cup of sour cream. Start off with 1 tablespoon of your chipotle sauce and a dash of salt and pepper and 1/2 of lime juice, right? And you're done. Get that in the fridge. Let that set up. And it'll be ready for our tacos whenever we get ready to make them, right? I also said, I think 10 to 15 minutes. I should have said 20 to 25 minutes cook time on our fish, but we'll check it and make sure. There again, when you're cooking fish or like anything like that, it also depends on the amount, and it depends on the thickness of your fish. So just check it. I would say once you get 15 minutes in and check it and see if it's to your liking, right? If not, let it go 20, 25 minutes. Okay, we're gonna get this in the fridge and get our ingredients ready and make our pico sauce. And we'll be done until the fish is ready. We can put this together. Okay guys, like I was saying, for our pico or salsa sauce, this is our main ingredients. We've got some cilantro, which we're going to use with a 1/2 cup. We've got 2 tomatoes that we're going to get washed up, seeded, and chopped up. Garlic, red onions, right? So we're going to get this washed up, chopped up, and put that together. And that's our salsa or pico sauce. The only other thing we got, like I said, once our fish finished baking, we're going to brown our wraps, our tortillas, right? And basically put your fish down, hit it with some of your taco sauce, some of your pico, top it with a little red cabbage, and finish it off with some of our cajita cheese, right? Can't even say it, but we'll show you, okay? We're gonna get that done and we'll be right back. Okay guys, so now we've got our tomatoes, our cilantro, and everything washed, right? So we've got some red onions that was already, I cheated today. Instead of buying a red onion and chopping it myself, I just went out and found some of this, a container of red onions that's chopped, right? But okay, so basically we've just got to get our tomatoes cut, our cilantro, and also our garlic. So we'll start out working right to left, right? So we're gonna get our garlic kind of cut up here. I don't like cutting with gloves on, but we're gonna make it work. There again, you can chop these to your liking. I kind of like everything that I cut up like this well, the garlic anyway, I'll put it like that. In this particular recipe, I prefer my garlic to be basically small, right? Cilantro is rough cut. Your tomatoes also kind of rough cut, and your onions can be, because like I said, it's a pico sauce or a salsa sauce, so it's okay for what we're using it for with our tacos, right? But the garlic, yeah, go ahead on and get it, just my personal opinion, get it as small as you can, right? So we're gonna get that kind of small as I like it anyway. Keep your fingers out of the way. Just work that around like that. Just keep it going. And you can get it, same thing with the onion. This is how I get my onions. Small if I'm cooking for somebody that don't like to see their onions. This is basically what I do. You just keep going back and forward like that right there. And you get down to a fine grind, basically. You can also throw it in a blender or something like that, and also get it down to definitely a smaller, but it tends to kind of liquefy on you the smaller you get it, right? So this right here is about where we want this. Okay, now for your tomatoes, they need to be seeded, right? So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can do your tomatoes to get those seeded correctly, right? Okay, one method, move this one out of the way here, is basically to cut it down. I would quarter it, right? And then you can take a knife, basically run it through. I run it through like that. Put this over the sink. You probably can't see it, but before I get there, so you can see what I'm doing here, is basically getting that section out there where the seeds are, right? Another method I learned is probably faster, that you might prefer to do it. So you get it like this, right? And basically, I would say like squeezing a lemon or an orange. You can squeeze that section out of it and you get the same results a lot faster, right? Without really doing any cutting. You can see that right there. It's basically your tomato seeded. Probably works better than cutting. So basically that's what I'm gonna do, is basically squeeze and get that seeded section and that kind of a liquidy section out, right? We got those there. And with this, we're using 2 tomatoes. Basically, you can go with like 2 medium-sized tomatoes, you're good. Okay, and like I said, the squeezing method is the fastest. With me, I love, if I'm any kind of cooking, I try to keep my knives sharp. I don't like working with dull knives. Too much of a headache in my personal opinion. However, I know some people don't really like sharp knives because it is easy to cut yourself if you don't know what you're doing. And I probably shouldn't say that because I currently have a cut on my finger that I've had since like I think the 2nd of July, right? I was doing one of my barbecues. So I was doing ribs, brisket, and a pork butt. And of course, with the brisket, you have to trim it. You have to trim that fat off, right? And so I was going good, trimming it off and everything. And it's like I got hard-headed because, I told myself, okay, James, don't cut towards your finger. And me being hard-headed, I cut towards my finger, and guess what? My knife slipped, went straight into my finger. And currently, till this day, I have that scar. but it's all good. You learn from your mistakes, right? Okay, so we've got our garlic cut, our tomatoes quartered and seeded. So we're going to rough cut our cilantro. I've got it washed, but I tend to leave from the store the rubber band on there to make it easier, basically to do a rough cut on it. For me it is anyway, right? Because with this right here, I'll just chop it down like that, down until I get to the stem of it, and we're good, right? This right here is just basically you want a half a cup of rough cut cilantro to go into this recipe, right? So we're going to get this to what I consider a rough cut. Right? That right there, we're going to call that good. We need about a half a cup. That should be good. We can take and measure that out to see how close we are, right? But irregardless, that's all. That's as much I'm going to put in there. Hey. Half a cup. See what we got. Just as the doctor ordered, a half a cup. So we're good with our cilantro, right? We got our garlic cut up. This goes in the trash. Okay, so we got our onion here. So now it's just a matter of mixing these, getting my tomatoes cut up and getting these mixed together. That's our picante sauce, a pico sauce, I'm sorry. And we're good. All right, so we can dump our cilantro in there. Can also come here, get our garlic off of our board here. Right? So now we're in that position to get our tomatoes cut up here. See, I'm doing from kind of the quartered, where I quartered my tomatoes. I'm just starting there, but you can cut them down smaller. Makes life a lot easier, but like I say, we're doing this quick and easy today, right? And then, of course, we go to work. Make sure I got this over here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just in my, generally you would call this your prepping stage, but this is just how I go to work when I'm cutting in my vegetables and everything, right? Make sure you keep your fingers out of the way when you're doing this. If you choose to use my method. Like I said, I've been doing this for a minute, so I can kind of gauge what I'm doing and time it out to where I'm moving the veggies around and not coming down and cutting my finger, right? There again, this is like I said, a pico sauce, so it can be rough. Everything is rough cut, but you don't want big sections in there at all. You want it to a decent size to where, okay, yeah, you can see it, but it's not liquefied, right? So that's all we're trying to do. And that right there is what we want, people, right? So we get our tomatoes in there with our garlic and cilantro. Okay, so we're good with that. Last but not least, basically, the recipe calls for one small red onion. So there again, add the onions to your liking, right? That should be cool. Get this mixed up. Probably should have used a slightly larger container, but this is going to work just fine. Take me a little longer to get this mixed up like I want it, but at the end of the day, it's going to be cool. Additionally, if you like a little spice in this, in your pico, right, you can always add a jalapeno to this mixture with your cilantro, onion, garlic, and a tomato. You can add a jalapeno if you like it. But for this one, I didn't get it. I don't have any here at the house, so I didn't go get any. And plus, like I said, I got my heat basically from the cayenne that we put on, the cayenne and the blackening seasoning that we put on the fish, one, and two, the chipotle peppers that we have in our sauce, right? So with that right there, there is a homemade pico sauce, right? Okay, so we got our fish done, our shrimp done, pico sauce done, and the taco sauce done. So now it's the only thing that's left. We're gonna come back and brown us some tortilla wraps and put one together and show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so we're back. Got our fish, our shrimp. Here's our taco sauce, pico sauce, and I chopped up some of the purple cabbage, just a little bit to do our video here. Sierra, cojita, or cojita, however you want to say it. Cheese, you can also use the queso, I think it is quesadilla cheese, but this is the one that the original recipe calls for. All right, that being said, we're gonna put a couple of these together. We're gonna do one fish and one taco. I'm sorry, one fish and one shrimp taco, right? It's simple. Get your meat on there. That's the fish. This is our shrimp. That on there, that lined up, right? Try to keep everything clean. By the way, as you guys know me, I clean as I go, so my kitchen is already clean. After I finish this, I have no cleaning to do. All the dishes are washed. All right, so you want to hit that with a dose of this taco sauce, the fish taco sauce, right? That's got a lot of flavor in there, like we say, because we put that put those chipotle peppers in there. You've got the mayonnaise and the sour cream, right? Okay, hit it with as much of the pico as you like. Actually, like I said, this mix it goes very well. I would have never believed it until I tried. So, like I say, this is for my daughter. By the way, let me give my daughter a shout out, because it was her that actually taught the old man what he needed as far as equipment to start recording these videos and posting them. So hey, love you, babe. Not to say I don't love the rest of my kids, but yeah, at the time I call her two. Two hooked me up, so I appreciate that, babe. Right? Okay, so we're gonna hit it with this purple cabbage. That's cool. Then a little of our cheese. If I can get the bag open with these gloves on, it's happening. All right? Basically, you just want to sprinkle. Hit it with a sprinkle of this cheese. Right? Just like so. And people, there you have it. Fish or shrimp tacos. Nothing fried, healthy. Okay, we're gonna get you a good close in on this, and we're gonna call this one a wrap. All right?